And if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm not carrying a backpack, but I am carrying this field bag right here. And that's what I want to talk to you about. We hit the jackpot, guys. Do you like vintage gear? Do you like food cooked out in the woods in a different and unusual way? Do you like a good hike that's not boring with really cool things to see? Then let's hit the trail and come explore with me. Oh, it turned out to be a beautiful day today. We're in the mid-60s. Incredible. Just coming up to the beginning of all the different trails here. All right, so this at this point here at Ridge Hill Reserve, this is going to be where you make a decision on where you want to go. You can go up to the green trail, the blue trail, and the orange trail. And the red trail is this way. The red trail is the longest trail, so that's where we're gonna go. All right. So we're at the Ridge Hill Reserve, and this is in Dartmouth, not too far off from like the Copacabana Woods and Freetown Forest. So if you want to take a peek, feel free to look it up and check it out. I will leave the information listed down below, and we're gonna look for a spot to have this lunch and show you this piece of kit and gear that I want to show you. And yeah, so it's a beautiful day. So not too far into the trail, you're gonna come across this. Look at that. The Sasquatch lair. It's basically just a little structure. I believe that was, I don't know, maybe the Boy Scouts had put it here at first, and you're welcome to add to it as you're out on the trail. Come check this out. So we'll find a stick. Every time I come out here, I do find a stick and add that to this structure. It's pretty cool. And there's my contribution. I mean, that is a pretty tall structure right there, and every time I come, I do put a stick right on top of that. So let's just continue on. Sorry, you might hear that little jingling of my keys hanging off my bag. All right. What I like about this trail is that it's marked out really well. So you can come out here, and depending on, how motivated you are, you can pick any trail you want. And you're not going to get lost. Or ideally, you shouldn't get lost because the trail is marked out really, really well. Wow. This is nice. Look at this forest. Look at all these trees. And as you can see by this red arrow right here, I'm on the red trail. You just keep your eye out. It's always good to look back as well, just to get a visual of where you came from. I mean, look at that. Already it looks like you could get lost, but you just, keep your eye out on the markers and you'll be fine. There's something else that I want to show you along the way. I'm sure at one point these were drivable roads, but no longer. All right, so we get a little bit of an incline right now. And somewhere in here is supposed to be the highest point in Dartmouth. I'm not sure if we're actually going to go up that way because eventually I am going to go off trail. But I wanted to show you this. And the reason why I say that these must have been roads at one point is because of this. I don't know if you can see that right now, but this is a point of interest and something really cool to see. I'm sure it wasn't cool when it happened, as this is a crashed Jeep that's never been removed, and it's just been sitting here since God knows when this happened. Look at that. And you can see it must have came down this hill right here and maybe crashed into that tree right there, and it's just been sitting here ever since. And over here are the seats. Look at this. And you can basically see it still says, oh, it says Jeep right there. It's upside down, but on the cushions right there. So there's the cushions of this Jeep. I mean, look at this. Wow. This is something. It's been here a long time. Whoa. Check that out. I'm sure there's a story to this crash. Jeep. Obviously, it's been vandalized from sitting in the woods for so long, sadly. But yeah, look at that. Feel free to let me know what model Jeep this is. I really don't know. I'm not too familiar with Jeeps, but if you happen to know, just drop a comment down below and let me know what model Jeep this is. So yeah, the remnants of a crash. And it's just been sitting here ever since. All right, so this is off trail. Let me get back up along there to get back on the trail. There's an old mill site out here as well. So I'll show you that if we get to that point. It's getting a little warm now that the sun's starting to make an appearance. Not too many people are out here. There was just me and one other car in the parking lot. So, let's see what we see. This is the first time it's been warm enough. I think I can actually take off my sweatshirt. Don't want to get overheated, and it's going to feel nice to have that fresh air and be able to walk around in a t-shirt. So this is the first really nice, like say, warm day that we've had. Awesome. Another thing I love about this area is you normally don't see a lot of people out on the trail. I mean, there's enough trails out here to where people can be scattered about, you know, so it's not one of those congested areas where you see like, 40, 50 people on a trail. You know, you might pass a dog walker or something like that. And I'm not opposed to petting and saying hello to a dog, but just listen to that. Nice. You can barely hear any kind of road noise. This is beautiful. It can get a little gnarly on some of these trails. You know, make sure you're wearing, you know, some good footwear, either hiking boots or your trail runners or whatever. Don't be out here in like flip-flops or anything. The root system is, you know, coming up on the trail. There's some big rocks in some areas, so, you know, there's a little bit of scrambling around. So, wow, this is awesome. There's something like really, really special when you come out to a place and there's nobody else out here, you know? It's awesome. What I'm looking at are these rock walls scattered throughout the trails. You are going to see a lot of these rock walls. Some are bigger than others. That's a small one right there. I think I've mentioned it before. These rock walls could have been property boundaries. They could have been, you know, to mark out where your cattle would be. They could also indicate where the roads are or were. So it's always interesting, and you can just use your imagination as to what it was used for or why it was built, you know? I love seeing the moss growing at the base of the trees and the lichen on the rocks right there. That's what that's called. Way cool. Alright. And that's where we came from, down there. And then we're gonna head out this way. There's a field area out here, and I believe it's owned by, oh God, I can't even remember, but it's like, I don't know if it's the water department or, anyways, there's land out here, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I come out here. All right, go under or over? All right, we'll go around. How's that? All right, so I'm just coming out of the woods. As you can see, the red marker on there indicates that the red trail continues down that way. That's where we just came from. So we're gonna have to walk down a little further this way. And yeah. So we're gonna probably, well, maybe I'll show you some sights. We'll just take a peek over here. I know there's some old mill ruins over here to the left. But basically, I am going to continue on straight, kind of go off trail a little bit, and then maybe dip into a little wooded area and find some place to set up and make some lunch. But yeah, for now, let's check this out. So that's where we came from, and we just basically kept walking straight. Now I'm going to take this left. Look at this little structure, this little wall structure right down here. And you can tell it's obviously man-made, but I want to show you something pretty cool before we go find a spot. Look at this. Right here. See this, guys? This is remnants of an old mill site. It's kind of filled in right there with water right now. But as you can see, the walls going around right there. That is pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure if this was maybe a home on the mill site or if this was the actual site of where the mill was. I know where the little bridge is on the red trail that we were. The trail kind of splits off into two directions. We went this way instead of going that way, and that's where the bridge is on the other way. And that I know is a mill site, but check this out. And then there's a nice little spot that you can come down and have your own little private little on the water spot right over here. Look at this. There's always a plane going by. Sorry about that, guys. Nothing you can do. But this is a nice little spot that's kind of secluded. It's a nice little beachy type area. It's pretty breezy out there. But if you want to dip out of the woods, I mean, look at this area. Whew. Since it's a little breezy, we're not gonna stay down here. How cool is that? Got a little bit of a water feature. You have woods. You have old historic ruins. Yeah, but this is a cool spot. So if you're looking to, kind of get off the beaten path a little bit, check out the reserves and the nature reserves in your area. Or better yet, come here. And if I'm not mistaken, we're just going to continue following along, and this is probably going to bring us out into that big open field area again, and we're going to just basically walk down the length of that field and dip back into the woods and find somewhere to have some lunch. And I can show you this awesome piece of vintage gear that I picked up next to nothing. I am always hitting the the thrift stores and things like that, because you just don't know what you can find. And sometimes you may even hit a jackpot. I mean, look at these walls. It's basically about as tall as I am right here. That is beautiful. And obviously it looks like it's marking out either another property. As you can see, there's like a sharp corner right here, goes this way and down that way. They're all scattered throughout these woods right here. Somebody was telling me in the comments that some of these walls that you might see out in the woods, I mean, they're not all from the 1800s. They could be up to 2,000 years old. I'm not sure if that's the case with these, but you just don't know. They had mentioned that they had taken a rock wall class. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a rock wall class, but how cool is that? How cool is that? Where am I going? Oh, wow. Well, I am still on the red, but this trail just looks like a mess. Wow. I mean, this is the trail. Okay. Oh boy. All right. I think I can go up between here to get over there. I mean, oh wow, it's all muddy, rocks and roots. But I guess that's half the fun of it, you know? Camera always doesn't do justice as to how difficult or uneven the terrain is, but trust me, it is choppy. Huh. It's nice to be able to get out here and do these hikes, but man, I am dying for a mountain hike. I haven't climbed a mountain in a long time, maybe since like Mount Greylock, when I found that plane wreck. But even then, it wasn't as challenging as other hikes that I've done in the past. So we'll be doing a nice mountain hike, maybe an elevation up to 4,000, who knows. But All right, I think I'm making my way out into that field area. I just heard something scurrying off in that direction. Oh, I can see it. All right, let me see if I can show you. Let's see if I can show you. You really can't see it. But there's a deer right in between those two trees on the opposite side. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of him. Look at me, I'm like stalking the frickin' deer. Yeah, I don't see him. He's probably gone by now. But wow, that was so cool. Can never get him on film. Okay. All right. Yeah, he was through there. Whatever, right? Let's go find a place to set up and have some lunch and talk about this gear and get into cooking. So let's go do that. So where I am right now is off trail. As you can see behind me, way down that road, if you just keep walking and walking and walking, it'll dip in. There'll be a little red little sign to tell you to get back into the woods on the red trail back there. But we're just going to continue on, stay off trail for a little while, and then find a spot like in the woods that's either to the left or the right of us. So that's where we are. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm not carrying a backpack, but I am carrying this field bag right here. And that's what I want to talk to you about. We hit the jackpot, guys. So I just want to show you the fields that I'm on right now. This is the Algonquin gas transmission line. So this is the property that intersects with the trail. That's like, I don't know, 1,000 miles that way. Or what feels like 1,000 miles that way. So we're just gonna keep on walking, and I'm kind of getting hungry, so I am gonna search for a little spot, and I imagine we'll be coming up on something soon. Some more rock walls way into the woods over there. It's kind of listed on that yellow sign over there. It's like a general use area. All right. What a freaking beautiful day. I'm like loving life right now. You have no idea. It's absolutely amazing to be out and not be freezing and listening to like the bird song around you, and really sweet. Oh, there's some evidence of deer right there. See those prints right there? So there are deer in this area, and there's enough of these like watering holes, or where, you know, from the rain and everything, that they can come to drink and get a little refreshment. All right, this looks like it might be a good place to maybe go in and have a seat. I really can't get too lost. I know I'm off trail and I'm dipping into the woods, but all I have to do is come back out here and just keep walking and walking and walking until I see the red trail sign that'll eventually lead me in that way. But this is not part of the marked trail system. Look at this though. This is awesome. I mean, there's rock walls that just go on and on forever. That way, oh, just heard something. And that way, let me see if I can just tuck up a little bit in here. I mean, I haven't seen anybody, so I'm not too worried about running into anyone. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. All right, so this looks about as good of a spot as any. I didn't bring a chair, so I'm just gonna throw a sit pad right down there and then just work off of that rock right there. So let me just take this bag off, throw down a sit pad, and we'll get to setting up for lunch. Yeah, yeah, that'll be good. Do that. It's nice to have a seat. Nothing fancy going on here today, let me tell you. Didn't bring a chair, didn't bring a backpack, but I did bring this awesome vintage bag, as you saw from that little clip right there. It's a bag from JW Hulme, if I'm pronouncing that right. Company started by John Willis Hulme back in 1905. This particular bag, because I looked it up, feel free to do the same, is from the era of the 50s. So this bag right here, as in great condition as it is about 80 years old, and it's solid as anything you could buy on the market today. So you have to check those your thrift stores, because you could be sitting on gold and you just don't even know. I was like, yeah, this little canvas bag looks pretty good. This little field bag is awesome. And I was like, huh, it has a name on it. Let me try looking it up. And then it was love at first read, basically. Like I said, this company, the JW Hulme company, started out in 1905. And they started out by making awnings and tents, if you can believe that. So they started out making canvas tents and awnings. And as time went by, during World War I, they kind of pivoted their gear, and they started making gear for the military, whether it's backpacks. I'm not exactly too sure what they made, but they did make military gear. And then after the war, they basically focused on making, leather handbags and luggage. So they have a great history. They stayed in business for 118 years. I believe they just basically closed up shop in 2023. So the company is 120 years old, and this bag is 80 years old, and it was perfect to basically bring everything I wanted to bring out here today to have some lunch. So I mean, I think it's switched hands a couple of times over the years. I think once in 2009, another time in 2019, and like I said, they closed in 2019. But they're a company that started out in Minnesota, and they used the leather they sourced from tanneries in Minnesota and also in Maine, of all places. And that's where they got the materials. And each bag at the time, in the early beginnings of the company, they handmade each and every bag. Each bag was handmade. I mean, where do you even hear of something like that anymore? You don't. So basically, I was excited to be able to find this bag right here. And I have it packed with a few things today, and we're gonna make some lunch. So let me show you what I brought in the bag, and we'll make something to eat. Way cool. I'll throw some history up here also as well if you want to read a little bit more in depth. There'll be some information just kind of scrolling upwards, and you can read that. And obviously I'll link some information down in the description. I don't know if anybody ever goes to the description to tell you the truth, but there is a lot of information that lives in the description area of a lot of people's videos. So, you know, feel free to check that out as well. So let's make some lunch. Just to show you a little bit more in detail, look at the craftsmanship of this leather. And if anybody knows like a good leather conditioner, let me know, because I would like to restore this. The canvas is in tip-top shape. Obviously it looks like it's faded a little bit over the years, but the leather on it is really, really solid. Really. Let's see what the temperature is. Oh, it's 70 degrees. Sweet. But yeah, the leather on here on the straps is, there's nothing, there's no frays. Like I said, the leather quality is pretty great. There is some little something going on right here. I'm not too sure about that. Looks like something like scraped it or dragged it right there. And this is like a messenger style field bag. And as you can see, I have it pretty loaded up. I have my power bank right in there. To drink, we're going to have this hazelnut cocoa, or this chocolate hazelnut cocoa beverage powder. This is from an MRE that I had earlier that I was gifted by Bonnie Brower. So Bonnie, thank you again. We're actually going to try this out today. And all my stuff that I have right in there to make some lunch. But anyways, I do need some water. Here's another little find that I've been using forever. It's a clean canteen double-walled container. It keeps whatever you have in here freezing cold. As you can see, it's pretty beat to shit, but you know what? It's solid. It is just beautiful. I can't believe I haven't run into like a single soul. I know, it's days like that that I'm like, yes. So this clean canteen. Wow, really cold. Water's really still cold. Nice insulated little canteen. It's good to get some water. This is just water I brought for drinking, not cooking. All right, what I did bring, well, I did bring my alcohol stove, so I've got the fuel for the alcohol stove right there. Got the alcohol stove right in here. My plate, got like a little bandana and a little plate. So we're going to be civilized today and eat off of a plate. I have water in the titanium gritter gear canteen, and I am also going to use the nesting pots. As you can see, there's a couple of pots right here, and that just kind of nestles all in together. So I'm going to cook on the big one right there. And I'm going to cook everything all in one pot on the alcohol stove. And you know what we're making? We're going to make some hot dogs and beans. Some really something simple, all in one pot. I'm going to cook right in the can. I could put it right over the heat, but I'm going to put it in just a little bit of like boiled water, you know, up to about right here. And I'm going to steam the hot dogs in it as well. Whenever you're cooking, if you're going to cook directly out of the can, either puncture a couple of holes in it, or in this case, it does have a pull tab. So I am going to open that a little bit so, you know, it can vent, because if not, it's going to explode, you know, and you don't want to hurt yourself with like projectiles or anything like that. So if you're going to cook directly out of the can, make sure you take the necessary precautions. So let's get to cooking. I am going to put this little round little piece of tin foil right there, and I'm going to put it in the bottom of that pot. It basically fits right underneath this can right here, so that way when I pour water in around it, water will be able to get underneath the can and around the can as well. So I will be able to get even distribution of water when I'm cooking. So I'm going to put that in there now. And I'm going to basically put the hot dogs on the side, you know, like on the sides of the can. But let me get that lit right now, and I'm going to put that right on top of, right on top of this. We're going to do that right there. That ought to be solid. So let's do that. Let's do that. And we'll get some water in the pan. Actually, I should probably open this just a little bit right now. Open a little bit right there, as you can see. I'm going to pour some water down the sides. Probably about that much. And the hot dogs, obviously, they're going to be pretty big, so I'm going to cut them in half and put like 2 sections in here and 2 sections in there. All right, that's going. So I'm just going to let that bloom for a little bit before I stick the pot on there. Oh yeah, you can feel the heat coming right off of there. And that's secure right in there. I didn't bring a windscreen or anything because, you know, that'd be too smart. All right, we're just going to sit that right there. The lid. Got the lid right there. And once that comes up a little bit to a steam, because obviously the beans are going to take a little bit longer than the hot dog, so I'm going to let that come up to a little bit of a boil. And while I'm sitting there waiting for this to boil, I'll just bring you back in a few moments. It's almost like a little hobo lunch right here out in the woods. Appreciate you coming, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. I've never really cooked anything in the can. Have you? Let me know. I think that's going to take just a little bit of time. We're just starting to get just a little bit of a bubble. And believe it or not, I can smell those beans just a little bit, just kind of heating up in that pan. You know, it's sitting in, the can itself is sitting in the water about halfway up, but it's also sitting on that ring in the water of tin foil, so the water can be able to get underneath the can. So that is cooking away. And yeah, I'm gonna put those hot dogs in. The hot dogs will probably take no time, so I'm just gonna wait just a little bit before I throw the hot dogs in. I've just been kind of kicking back and just chilling, just listening to the sounds around me. I noticed the bugs are coming out, so put on your spray for ticks and mosquitoes. You know, ticks are basically all year round nowadays, you know. Wow. Oh yeah, that's just going nice. But I want to keep taking that off and checking it. I have about the patience of a chopping block sometimes. I'm like, boil, boil, boil. But yeah, so as far as this bag though, this bag, as I've been checking it out a little bit further, it does have YKK zippers. So that's really cool. It does have this little inside pouch. And that's where I had my sit pad that I'm sitting on right now, or basically leftover Reflectix. It has an inner pouch right there. I brought out some of those cheddar cheese pretzels. I do, if I want to have a coffee, you know, I do have a little bit of the remnants of leftover MREs. And yeah, and afterwards I can't wait to try this chocolate hazelnut cocoa, and I'm going to drink it right out of the bag. So this was just something a little bit different, and can't wait to have it. So anyways, as they say, I will bring you back shortly, which will basically be like 2 seconds as soon as I stop filming this little part. Let me take this off just for a second. It's actually not that hot, but let me do that. I know that that alcohol is still going. All right. Let's see if I can take this out of here. Didn't think this through. Let's see if I can just pull that out of there. Whew. I think I can take that. Oh, it's hot. It's hot, hot. I will take my trash with me. All right. Oof. Let me see if that's hot. Oh yeah, it's getting hot. Yeah, it's getting hot. Put that right on top of that again. I'm gonna leave that off, the cover off. I'm gonna throw that back on the heat. I think I should probably put those hot dogs in now. Throw those hot dogs in. I think it might be time. Oops. 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 Oh shit, that's okay. Throw that right in there. That's a little dirt on the hot dog. Alright. Oh yeah, huh? We'll be ready to eat as soon as this boils up. And I'm not too worried if I got a little dirt or anything like in my actual water that I'm using. I do have another pan that I can use to boil up some water for that cocoa. So I do have another pan. Oh yeah. It's gonna be awesome. I'm hoping it is anyways. Almost lunchtime. Set that down. Make sure this fire is out. Nice. All right. Can of beans right there. Get my hot dogs on a plate. Look at that. Nice steaming plate of hot dogs and beans cooked right out in the woods, right in the can. Let's check it out, see how hot these beans are. Woo, it's hot. Let me get a little. It's warm. All right, let's try it out. Bon appetit. Mm-mm. Oh yeah. Oh, get out of here, bee. Oh, there's a bee. This is killer. Like, this is what it's all about. I'm out here all by myself in the middle of nowhere, cooking up friggin' hot dogs and beans. Oh my God, it's so good. See, this is all you need. Nothing fancy. You got some thrift store finds, doing some simple cooking, and that's all it's all, you know, that's what it's about. Just getting out and enjoying yourself. It doesn't have to be with the latest and greatest gear, the most expensive shit, you know, it just doesn't have to be. Like, I'm having the best time out here. You don't even know. I appreciate you guys coming. I really do. This has been awesome. I still have to boil up some water for that cocoa, that MRE cocoa, and we're going to try that. We're going to drink that out of the bag. I think to drink right now, I'm just going to use my water right now, but well, guys, I'm going to chow this down, and I'll bring you back as soon as I finish this. And I dump that hot dog water, and I get some new water in another pan. I'll have that boiled, and we'll just get that in the pouch, and we'll try that out. But yeah, bon appetit. Listen to the sounds around me. Hey, bee. What you doing? You want a bean? Here you go. All right, so I got the next pot on. I'm gonna boil some water and we're gonna try that hazelnut hot cocoa. Well, the moment of truth. Let's try this chocolate hazelnut cocoa. It still feels really hot, but I think it's gonna be doable. I don't smell the hazelnut, but let's try it out. I don't really know how to hold this. It's kind of hard to hold it. All right, we're just gonna huh. Wow, that's really good. It's kind of better than like a Swiss Miss. That's just a brand that's like around that everybody knows. But let me get one more sip of that. I'm not sure if I actually taste the hazelnut. It just tastes like a regular hot chocolate to me. It's sweet. It's really good. Yeah, that's not bad. Wow. So, Bonnie, thanks again. This is just the remnants of the MRE that I had on the camp last week out in Rhode Island. I'm going to sit here and drink this, and guys, I'll bring you back when we're doing a walkout and we'll wrap it up and give some final thoughts. I appreciate you coming, and I'll talk to you in a few. Oh yeah, also at the end of this video, I know some people like to see like or my urbex adventures, and I'm not really posting a whole bunch of that, but if you want to stick around to the end of the video, I am going to show some clips of an abandoned hospital. So if you like that kind of stuff, feel free to watch that. But guys, I will bring you back in a moment. This isn't bad. Not bad, actually. All right, well, we're packed up. We left no trace, and we had an unbelievable time. Now I got to try and figure out where I got to go to get back out onto the main path. Gotta come back and get the camera. Gotta come back and get the camera. All right, so this whole journey that we did today is probably about, I don't know, maybe a little over 3 miles. The trail itself out and back on the full red trail, I think is only 2 miles. But we went down a lot further, and then we dipped into the woods. And so now I'm just walking out of here. But I think I forgot to explain like the urbex thing that I'm just putting on the end. That's only going to be like a few minutes. And that's just basically to show you what I do in between like camping and backpacking and this kind of stuff is, you know, I hang out in cemeteries and I explore abandoned places. So that's what that is. But all right, I'm really leaving this time. So enjoy those clips, guys. And I'll catch you later. Bye. Nice. I'm going back a different way. Yeah. I'm just kind of showing you a little bit of what I like to do when I'm not out in the woods. I like to do some exploring, and a lot of these cool places are just left to rot, and it just amazes me at all the stuff that's left behind. The building itself is in great condition, so I always think they should be repurposed and reused. This place that we're in today, and when I say we, I mean you and me, has been abandoned since 1993. So over 30 years, who knows what we'll end up finding. But guys, let's go exploring. Wow, these Old places always amaze me. Blue, kind of peeling away from the yellow brick. Wow, look at these old canister lights right there. Look at that. I feel like a lot of this stuff could have been donated at the time of closure, and it just it amazes me that things just sit, you know, just left to rot, you know, sitting here since like 1993. It's like, what? What? Check out this old alarm system right here. This old bell. This is like a little striker right there. Way cool. It's always like stepping in time or stepping back in time, you know? When you're going to check out places like this, it's pretty cool. So in between like camping videos, I'm out here doing this kind of stuff. There's a big old gaping hole in the fence, guys, so I'm not doing any kind of B&Es to get in here. I wonder if there's a door down here to get in. Oh, I think there is. How am I gonna get down here? Alright, let's see. There might be a staircase. Just trying not to be seen. Alright, there's a staircase right here. Let's go check it out. Rats. All right, we're not gonna do too much of this, all right? You're probably like, what are you doing? But yeah, let's come in here and we'll see what this building has to offer, see what kind of old stuff we can see. All right. we're just up on the second floor. As you can see out the windows, this is where we're at. Whoa. Look at that tub. How cool is that? That's solid. Big old cast iron tub right there. Wow. All right, I'm not going up anymore. And what is this? It's probably like a dumbwaiter or something. Okay, I guess this is the room where you go to worship Satan. I think I'm gonna get out of here now. If I can find the stairway. All right, that's the stairway up. This is the stairway down. Let's get out of here. Yeah, so we were just walking around right up there. This building is a little worse for wear. Crazy place. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed just a little bit of that.